And we're back with the 1 year anniversary of Brew Your Mind, the podcast where we get to drink coffee and beer and you get to sit back and listen to us ramble about what is on our minds. I am Justin.
I am Jesse.
And together we are a boys band in 2020.
Baby, happy 1 year anniversary to you.
Happy
This
anniversary.
is all for you.
No,
Listen,
we brew our mind.
This is something else, man. I gotta say, I haven't been on this podcast with you for a year. I think I started in December.
Yeah.
But I remember when you started this, and I've seen people start things so many times. You know, you always do. See people start like podcasts. I've seen like 3 friends do podcasts that I know. They don't do it anymore. You know, a few months go into it, you realize how much work it takes to kind of prepare.
Yep.
And then setting aside that much time, you know. I'm not saying these people that don't follow through, they suck. It's just when you see someone, I remember we talked about doing the podcast for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, it was just talk. It never happened. And then you just all of a sudden pop up out of the blue and you did it. And I was like, oh, man, he's doing it. He's doing what we talked about like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Or we were talking about it for a while. And then I was like, man, I hope he sticks with it because I get excited when my friends do like any kind of creative type of thing, you know?
Hell yeah.
And then, man, I knew when I was on board, I was like, well, this is a coal train now. We pumping coal into this steam engine.
That's right.
We on that choo-choo train of success.
That's right. The choo-choos.
You know what it is?
The choo-choos be going, you know.
Well, that's it. Oh, hey, listen. I just want to congratulate you, man. Like,
Thanks,
for real.
brother.
I know it is. I'm part of this now. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, it's very impressive to see
We're
people
crushing,
follow
dude.
through. A year
We're
later,
crushing. You make it
You know
easy,
what I'm
man.
saying?
You make it easy to keep it going. So
man,
the
we
high
keep it
is going to
easy
keep
and
getting
peasy.
ridden.
We stay live and rive, baby.
The red light on, turn the light on.
Hey.
What do you got over there to drink on this special episode? I don't know why I'm singing so much. I'm just pumped.
I like that, man. Just sing it to me. Sweet, sweet nectar of the voice. So I'm actually drinking, to celebrate, I'm drinking alcohol today.
Yee.
Plus it's 5 p.m. here. So
Yeah, 5 o'clock somewhere.
let me show you what I got right here. And if you would like to see what we're drinking, you know, with your eyes, you know, you can watch us on YouTube. This will be posted a week. The video is posted a week after the audio.
That's
so
right.
it'll be on
Content
YouTube.
every Monday.
That is Brew Your Mind Pod on YouTube, okay?
Smash the like, smash the subscribe,
great.
hit the noties, and get them
Yeah.
going.
So you can see our faces. You can see my dad glasses that I'm wearing right now, my fake glasses. Anyway, this is what I'm drinking. I'll hold it up to the camera here. It is a Pinot Gris.
Ooh.
Pinot Grigio. It's a white wine. That's all I had here. Well, it's my girlfriend's wine, man. I'm drinking it. But it's a Kendall Jackson Vintner's Reserve Pinot Gris. It's a 2018 from California. All right. Chilled white wine. Let me taste of it. Let me give you that.
Them chilled California wines.
I gotta tell you, the past for so long, I was hooked on the red wine. I was like, nah.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I like Riesling, like a white wine. That's good. And I didn't give white wine a chance. You know,
Yeah.
I thought it's too sweet and all this and that. I gotta tell you, me and Katie this summer, I forget where we went, but it was hot here. Well, hot, you know, Alaska, whatever. It was kind of a nice, hotter summer day here. And we went to some restaurant. We're sitting outside. You know, COVID. So we was like, she got a white wine randomly. And I was like, well, that's weird. She don't ever do that. It's chilled. They brought it out, took a sip of hers. I was like, I'll take that too. Refreshing. I think it's Pinot Grigio. So get you a bottle of white wine. This is delicious. That's all I got, Justin. I want to know what you drinking for this great celebration of a day. Take that to the bank and do a little spank.
Because Spank Bank? No, it's exciting. It's
Good
exciting
Lord.
because it's the 1 year anniversary.
It is, man.
I'm trying to move on from it. Okay.
Now don't move on, bro. You don't have to move on. We are on it. We're riding this thing like a donkey. whatever that means.
Hey, we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. We're focused. And Jesse had his drink. I'm going to show off my drink now. I was talking about how special it was because how special this episode is. Delirium. Yes, I brought it back. Oh, it dripped on the computer, but that's okay because it's so cold and, just sweating everywhere. But no, favorite beer ever. I'm so excited. I even got the Delirium little, this is not really a mug, I guess, but it's like a glass mug with a handle that I got from old Brussels. So we're just getting all Belgian up in here. But while I'm pouring this, Jesse, how's that wine over there?
Man, it's so delicious and cold, and it's making me celebrate a 1 year anniversary of this.
So my idea was that we had a drinking game, and every time we say the word 1 year or brew or mine, we take a shot. We would be long gone by now because I think we mentioned 1 year over 10 something times. So it's great. But yeah,
that's a good idea because I don't even like liquor that much. So I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know, and I don't. Yeah, especially not straight up. Not for me. But Delirium, amazing as always. I almost hit a high note again. Kind of did. All right, Jesse. We got some catching up to do before we jump into this juicy topic this week. I'll start by saying, since the last time we talked, totally experienced my first hurricane, and I can definitely say I never want to go through that again. So, it was going to make landfall the following morning when I was going to work. I was going to work that night. It was supposed to make landfall that morning while I'm working. So I'm driving to work, and I can tell you on my way to work, the thought of me not being able to make it back to my house never crossed my mind. I'm like, I'm going to go to work, crush it, and, we'll see what happens. But while I'm at work, lose power here, pretty much what the final total was 74,000 people just in this county lost power.
Whoa.
Good news is after 4 days, all 74,000 were restored. So power was lost. And then while I'm there at work, I'm just seeing the rain just come down. I've never seen this much rain fall. I think the total was 15 inches, which, that's a lot. But then you say 15 inches in 18 hours to almost 24 hours. You got to be, that's crazy, dude. That is crazy. And then you got 50 knots, 60 knot winds. And the whole time I'm just thinking, man, I just bought a house.
Oh, yeah.
I just want the house to be okay, So I'm thinking about that the whole time. But I get off work. It's 7:30 in the morning. And I find out the road on the way to the road that you have to take to go to my house is closed because of flooding. So I'm like, wait, how am I supposed to get home? What is this? But leadership told me I could stay on the hotel on base. So I got to check in there, and I took a nap for an hour or two, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I was like, dude, I just got to go. And there wasn't any announcement or anything saying, the road was open. And it's crazy because it's the only way to my house is the main highway. But I took the chance, and dude, that was the first time ever where I ever felt like I don't know what I'm going to be driving through. One of those things, so much uncertainty. But yeah, there was one or two patches where it was pretty suspect. If I was in my Chrysler 200, it probably wouldn't have happened. But made it home. We were out of power for, it was exactly 24 hours. So not too bad. Everything in the fridge stayed fine. No house damage. So that's plus. The mailbox did get ripped off. But we need a new one anyway. But yeah, man, hurricane experience for me. Don't want to do that again. And
Hurricane Lizard.
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy, man. I didn't even know any of this was going on. That's how, when you're living up here in Alaska, you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know a thing's approaching, and then it's on the coast. You're like, what? And then you text me, you're like, power and internet's back on. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't even know you were having this dilemma down there. You know what I mean? Some kind of wildness going on. That whole story. Had no clue. I was just up here chilling.
Yeah, it was wild, man. The internet went down, and that came up much later after the power came back. So
that's sad.
Even with the power, we just couldn't do much. But
man,
yeah, man,
ain't it crazy?
The coast got rocked this year.
When damn internet goes out. I lost internet here this past year or the year before, I can't remember. We lost it for like a few days. Mm-hmm. Like it was just a massive outage or something. I can't remember what it was. But then it made me realize how much I depend on the internet for entertainment.
Dude,
literally
yes.
everything I have. Like I don't have cable, nothing. I stream Netflix, Hulu.
You'll never believe
video
what I did.
games are all internet based. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what's stupid. Like my golf game, I'm just trying to play by myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, you need network features.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's so stupid.
it is. But yeah, what I did, and you won't believe this because this is, we don't do this anymore. I put a Blu-ray disc in my PlayStation.
Word.
Yeah, dude. Breaking news. Justin Cape
That's
used
crazy.
a physical copy to watch a movie. Yeah, it's wild, dude. But yeah, I made it through. Life is good. Now about life. How's your life going over there? You got some kind of transition happening, right? Like
Yeah, man.
packing, getting ready to move, huh?
Finally back to work yesterday, right? So I'm just like catching up on all this email. I hate it.
Oh, it's the worst.
I just can't live my life with this clutter. It clutters my mind, man. I can't explain it.
How many
So I
unread
just
messages you still
ignore-
have?
700. I'm not even
Dude, that,
But to be honest,
that just hurt me.
I usually always keep it around 400 or 500 that I don't even read.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I need a manager. I'm not kidding. I think I
email
would.
manager?
Yeah, I really do. Can you
That's a
go
good
through
idea.
this and set it up to where this repetitive email about Booster Club meetings that I'm never going to go to? Can you
I think they
set
call
that
those
up?
assistants.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I
admin
need.
assistant.
I need that.
Yeah.
So, not a
Maybe
big
one day,
fan
dude.
of being in the military today because I'm out processing, doing stuff. I need to get off this base, right? I need to start doing all
No
the
walk-ins
paperwork.
for you.
Yeah, so I get I first day back yesterday. I'm like, okay, I need to work on getting my orders processed, right? So we have this thing. It's called a personnel center. Basically, they handle all this paperwork, and so I get an email that says, "Look, you don't have orders yet, and we can see that you're supposed to leave soon. So here's what you need to do." I said, "Okay." I get all this paperwork printed off and signed and checked, filled out, and then it says, "You can bring it by walk-in hours, right?" So I go over there. It's like 11 to 3 is their walk-in hours. So I go over there at like 2:30. And this guy is like, "Oh, no, that section's closed for today. But what you can do is bring it here tomorrow, walk in at 11. And I think he was mistaken because I go there today at 11:30. And that section is closed. And their hours are only from 8 to 11. And they don't take anything after. So I was so irritated, I just knock on that section's door. Because I'm like, I know they're still in there. Knock on the door, right? This chick comes out. And she's like, "Can I help you with something?" I'm like, "Look, I need expedited orders. I'm way behind because I've been gone, on this Arizona trip and then quarantined. I don't have access to email at home. I don't want to do that. No." So anyway, I tell her what the thing is. And I'm like, "I just need you to take this folder with my documents and get this process going." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We can't handle physical documents right now because of COVID." I was like, "Oh, okay. That's completely fine." So she says, "Just go back and scan it and email it." All right. So I left my work for no reason, right? So I go back to work. And on my way back into work, there's a officer. She's standing there with her phone out, taking a video of a C-17, this big aircraft that we have, a cargo one. It's kind of flying low, and it's doing like this hard turn. Looks cool, right? So she's taking a video of it, and her back is to me. And there's another chick with her, a master sergeant, and some other guy. Well, they're not looking at me, and she's taking a video. I walk right past. And I'm already irritated. And you know what happens? I get about 10 feet past them, and that master sergeant says, "Excuse me." And I turn around. I'm like, "Yeah." And she points in this aggressive way at the major, at this officer. "Did you not see her?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I wanted to fly off. I bit my tongue. I wanted to be like, "She was taking a damn video. I thought it was common sense. If they're not facing me, I'm not going to salute them." I hate this stupid process. I didn't mean no disrespect. Good God. See, I'm getting pissed off about it now because I hate these stupid things that we do. She's living her life taking a video of this stupid aircraft. And then you're going to throw a fit because you're a senior NCO who's salty and just make me feel like a little peasant. So that ate at me. I was already so irritated. I'm getting hot now. I'm starting to sweat. And I'm just not good with military stuff like this. Like, I obviously meant no disrespect or anything. Of course. I was looking at her and I saw her rank. I caught a glimpse of it, all right? But I was like, all right, I'm just behind them, common sense. I thought that's what everyone does. Like if there's a huddle of people and there's an officer in there and they're all talking and they're facing each other in like a huddle, I'm not going to like bust in that huddle and be like, oh, excuse me, let me salute you. No, I'm going to avoid that wide berth and just move on because we're people. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they get annoyed. Oh man, oh my God. Like you're one officer among a flight of like 10 enlisted, or you know what I'm saying? I know they avoid us too. They get tired of, I got my hand, dadgummit, I got to salute again. I see it in their eyes, and I could see it in her face right after that master sergeant. She was like, did you not see her? She was just like startled too. She's like, it's okay. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Stupid. This dumb world we live in. So it just set me off, man. Just set me off. And I go back inside, of course, I'm like, I got to scan these documents. And then for some reason, my specific CAT card, my ID card, does not recognize on this printer scanner. It's like, your card does not work. Oh, interesting. But my coworker's does. He had to scan it for me. I just hate office work, all this stuff. I'm so sick of it. Sometimes I'm like, I can stay in the military. It's just a bridge, you know? It's not a bad life. And then I'll start to get in the weeds with it. I just don't understand, man. Why is everything so hard? Why is it not streamlined? Was your out processing much easier for you? Probably.
It had its ups and downs. It was during COVID, so of course it was a little bit different.
Well, throw in the fact, full disclosure, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I don't remember anything. I forget what acronyms mean all the time, and I've been here for 8 years. It's like I have amnesia, I swear. I've been here for 4 years. I forget how to out process. I don't remember these things. And then people are like, how do you not know? Yeah, you haven't talked to TMO yet? No, I haven't. This is my first day back. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, Jesse, that sounds like your life's going really good, and it's really progressing along. And how do you feel now after getting all that out?
Well, I just feel like it's just a reminder that I'm not exactly cut out for this life. But I will say,
you look good in the uniform.
Yeah, I do. You know, but I will say, I mean, I complain about it, but I also think, you know, I know any job I have, there's going to be annoying, dumb shit that you have to do.
Of course.
So I'm like, it's not just the military. This is just a process. I just got to get through it one day at a time. So, and also DTS stuff, which is our travel system. I am on day 3 of trying to do my voucher to get everything paid off for the Arizona trip. And also, don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let me explain this to you people. If you don't know what this is, DTS is a travel system for the military. This is where you go and you book your own flights, you book your lodging, the prices, your per diem, whatever. You book it all in there, right? To get your orders for your TDY, your temporary duty assignment, whatever, your trip. Like I went to Arizona for a month. You do all these things. It's a system, and it uses verbiage that you have no clue what it means. Basically, you're doing someone else's job, and then you send it off to get approved, right? And then it gets sent back by the person who actually knows how to do it. And they say, no, you didn't use the correct verbiage and reason code for this. Fix it. And then you say, I don't know how to fix that. You put that in the notes. I don't know how to fix this. Please help me. I'm leaving tomorrow, right? And then you come back, and then you got to do a voucher to get your credit card that they give you to pay it off, right? You got to get it paid off, approved by whoever was funding the trip. And then you got to get your per diem, right? So you got to fill out all this stuff, put in the receipts, and then you do that. And for some reason, it still gets sent back as incorrect. And then you look at it the next day and you go, I don't know what I did wrong. And then no one tells you what you did wrong. You just got to figure it out. And then you send it up again and it gets denied. Is that how it works for you, Justin? Because that's how it works for me every time. I have two vouchers pending in my DTS profile right now. One from 3 months ago that is still not resolved. I'm not kidding. When I went to that Colony Glacier thing, that is still sitting in there, not approved.
I guarantee the military folk that are listening have been through the same stuff you have in regards to DTS. It's no one's best friend, and if you get it right the first time and everything's good, then you just hit the lottery ticket, because it's not how it works.
You're doing
there's a lot
like
of
the finance
a lot
people's
of doing
job,
and redoing.
basically. It's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But hey,
I'm not. I feel good. I'm not really.
no,
I just,
you're good.
I just
You're
like
good.
to
You're
rant.
good. This is great.
I like to rant.
This is great. Ratings go up when you rant. I saw it. It was like Brew Your Mind top charts when Jesse goes off and pops off. So love it. You feel better? You feel good?
Yeah, I do. I'm not really that stressed about it. I just like, I know
Good.
it's a stupid process we have to go through. And it makes me feel better to yell about it because it's stupid. And then when I yell about it, I realize how trivial it really is compared to a lot of the problems in the world. I'm such a baby. Okay?
Yeah, but you my baby. All right, so to go off that military branch, this is a good segue to lead into the special announcement that Brew Your Mind has today. That'd be another shot, by the way. What I have in my hand right here are the latest and greatest brand new Brew Your Mind patches. All right? If you're looking on YouTube, you can see them. All right? Listen, you guys, loyal listeners. What we're going to do is there's a limited supply. All right? So before I post on Instagram about these, before I post anywhere on social network that these are available for purchase, we're just going to do whoever's listening to this podcast gets the first dibs. All right? So what you got to do, it's easy. All right? These patches are going to be $15, and I know that's a little bit higher that we wanted to charge for a patch, but because of that, we'll do free shipping. All right? So just $15 flat for the patch, and all you got to do is hit up Jesse, myself, or the Brew Your Mind Instagram page. Send us a DM, and then we'll get you information, and then we'll send out your patch ASAP. But hey, they're black IR patches. They're pretty slick. Shout out to Kara for hooking us up with Spartan Village. They did a fantastic job.
Yeah, they look great.
They look awesome. So yeah, really excited about them. Kept the military theme going with it, and it was actually originally Jesse's idea a couple months back, talking about we should do patches, and so it came to fruition, Jesse. Fruition.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, here they are, guys. I'm excited. They look great. I threw it on my uniform, and then I got cussed out for having it on my uniform.
Excuse me.
No, excuse me.
Did you
didn't salute her, and you're wearing an invalid patch.
I'm wearing a Brew Your Mind patch. Okay.
No, but they're super awesome, and I love them. And that's it. That's the huge announcement. Make sure you put an order in to get them. And then, after a week goes by, that's when I'll post them. And then everyone else who hasn't listened to the pod yet, they'll know that they're out, and they'll get the opportunity to order. So, hey, this is just for those that, listen to the podcast on the very first day it drops. I know you people. I see you guys. At least I see what locations you guys are from. I'm a little creeper. But all right. Now that that's done, Jesse.
I'm excited about that, by the way, before you move on. This is our first big merch production thing. We've made a few mugs, right? But
yeah, Justice for DB.
That's right. But this is our first step in the water. I even talked to my great friend today, Kyle. I saw him today, and I told him about those patches. He was like, "What? It sounds sick." Yeah, because he talks like that.
Yeah, they're really awesome. I wish the video and picture does them justice, but I mean, once I got them, I was like, holding. I was like, wow, these are. It's
gonna be awesome, really, man. So we'll work on some other things coming soon. If these patches are received well, we'll make more. But please, if you support us at all, if you enjoy listening, full disclosure, we're not really making money on these patches. So it's not like we're trying to get money from this. We just want to provide something for people.
Branding.
Yeah, that if they really enjoy us, and I know there's a lot of you guys that really do enjoy us because you always hit us up. And if you really do enjoy it, please help support the podcast here, and just DM one of us, and we'll get you one. Because there's not that many right now, but. That's all I got to say about that.
Sick. So now it's time for us to move on. A crown is a representation of power, legitimacy, victory, and glory. If you know anything about any of those things, you know that they don't come overnight. It's a journey. Crown Supply is a lifestyle brand built with hopes to inspire others to embrace their journey. And today, Jesse, I'm embracing mine with the Embrace Your Journey white tea because it is a very special day for our listeners. That's right. All Brew Your Mind listeners get 15% off on all orders at the Crown Supply store. All you guys have to do is type in the promo code BREWPOD. That's right, 15% off. Go to crownsupply.store.com today, use the promo code, grab your crown, and embrace your journey. Back to the show. So we're talking about this week, main topic. It's been trending throughout the world here these last couple weeks. Brand new Netflix documentary. Oh, The Social Dilemma. Now, we talked about social media in the past in previous episodes, but we thought it'd be really cool, or it'd be a good idea to at least talk about this show. And those that don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. It's really interesting, and I'm still thinking about it to this day. And I watched it like last week. It just has you thinking, when you're using your phone and whatnot. But I mean, the main goal of the show is to provide like a graphic account of what the business model of a handful of companies, we're talking like Google, Facebook, all those kind of places and companies, what they're doing to us and our society. So it kind of dives into that, and it does it by two different ways. And correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, Jesse, but it does it by two different ways. It brings in like prior workers in that industry. You got like executives in Google, and the person that came up with the Facebook like button. It's got a bunch of those people that they interview, and then they also have like a side. What would you name that? Like a skit? Not really a skit, but like, so you can kind of see it in like real time or real life, like how it's affecting. So it goes back and forth in that. That's what makes it pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, super
a
good.
Fictional account of a perfectly normal American family. So that's what it does.
Oh yeah, it does do that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So yeah, it bounces back and forth, and we just thought we would talk about it because it's real, and I know these kind of documentaries are supposed to, they're trying to make money. That's the point of the documentary. They're trying to get the hits that they plan to do. They put all the money into it, so they're trying to get it back. So of course they're going to spice it up a little bit, but there's truth.
Things.
Yeah, there's truth and facts behind it. So we thought we would dive into it a little bit. What do you got, Jesse? You got anything?
Well, it's been a minute since I've watched it. I think I watched it like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half. But of course, I watch something like that, and it's so well presented that you get wrapped up in it. You're like, oh, I don't want to look at my phone anymore because they pose it in such a way. So they go into detail about how these companies would. The main guy that they talked around, I think he worked at Google or something, and he was focused on the email section, I think.
Yep.
Something like that. Well, he was having a hard time with, he wanted the main focus of the section he was in was, how can we make these things more appealing, more addictive, kind of? And he was trying to say, how do we, he wrote like a big memo or something.
Yep.
And he was kind of saying like, we're so focused on making these things more addictive and to be more ingrained, and you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you look at people who have an Apple Watch, an iPhone, iPad, all these technologies to kind of automate their. It's fine. I'm not criticizing people that do that, but you look at it and you think they're so intuitive and you're hooked on it. It becomes an extension of your body. I mean, it really does. Like, you rely on, I don't know I'm just like, if you want to go somewhere, you're going to pull up Google Maps. That's what you rely on.
Yep.
So all these other skills and all these other things that you might use, you don't have it. You rely so much on your phone for everything. And yeah,
So
he was just kind of posing it in a way like he was having a problem with how far they were going with it being so intuitive, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and he had people. This memo, he had people talking about it within the company, and it was starting to build up some steam. Like there might be some changes made or something like that.
Yeah.
And this was the memo. Like he was like acknowledging how their work was actually like hurting people, and he wanted to like promise to do better. But what happened was those Googlers, those people that were reading his memo and starting to, wanted to help out, it basically just stopped, hit a dead end, and they simply just went back to work, and went back to their profit machine and just saw the money coming in.
Yeah.
So I think after that, he didn't stay with the company for too much longer, and then kind of branched out, did his own thing, and was trying to, open people's eyes and let them know what's happening from within, and it's interesting from his point of view.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, he was saying it in a like a forewarning or like a foreshadowing of like what, because it started off simple and innocent. Social media started off pretty simple and innocent. You had like Friendster forever ago, and then MySpace was the one that really picked up steam. And it was pretty basic then.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, there's even, I think Jack Dempsey or something of Twitter. I think he's the one who created it. There's even clips of him saying like, they couldn't have foreseen that Twitter would have got to the point that it is. Like being used by major news, politicians.
Yeah.
Twitter is crazy. Facebook is crazy. I mean, I deleted Facebook because of, it just felt overwhelming. All the different views and you don't, it's just, I had someone on Twitter, a friend of mine, a couple days ago said, if you're not voting in November, then why aren't you voting? And it wasn't like being like antagonizing anyone. It's just like really curious. And I was like, I don't think I'm voting. And, then I explained why, just because it's like, it just feels, you don't know what's real. It all feels like you're just getting whatever people are serving to you. Like the media, left or right, is presenting to you the good and the bad. But you don't know what's real. Like, I don't know what goes on with our president now behind closed doors. All I know is the status quo is to hate on him. And he doesn't care he doesn't like the media, so he's not going to care about being portrayed good. You know what I'm saying? So then that makes me question the media. And then I'm also questioning why I question the media. It's like this whole thing of like, how many of my thoughts are just, like a product of all this that we're fed. These opinions that get hundreds of thousands of likes on Twitter that pop up. You see them every day. They'll have like 50 to 100,000 likes. You're like, oh, there's an opinion I don't really like, but maybe I should because it's so, you know what I'm saying?
The influence.
And then, you just see the tail end of like these extreme views and people being upset because they're taking they're like cherry picking these issues out of context and saying it just applies. My favorite one is the example of, I forget his name. What was that kid's name? Brock Turner or something? It was that young guy, that sports athlete kid in high school or something that raped a girl or something and then got 6 months of probation or something, right? And he's this blonde, white, young, athletic, promising kid, right? Did a bad thing. So the judge in that case just gave him 6 months, which then, of course, sparked an outrage. But then people use that example. They cherry pick that example to say, oh, this black kid did this and got sent to prison for 10 years by this judge, but this white athletic kid did this, only got 6 months. But instead of looking at it in the deep down, the issue is the judges don't have, like, there's no they just make up their sentencing, it seems like. That's the problem, right? I think so. I mean, he probably did have a little bit of bias to him, maybe from that judge, from that state, wherever he was at, North Carolina or something, that judge was a little bit biased to the white kid who was young and athletic. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I don't know. I'm just saying people pick examples and take it out of the context, and they use it as an example of the white people will always get less sentencing than the black, which is not always true. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of examples where that is the case, but I'm just saying that, for example, is what you kind of end up seeing the back end, and then people look at it and they say, yeah, that's messed up, of course. Why is a white kid getting 6 months but it's not from the same judge? And then you just have to look at the issue. Judges don't have a strict criteria, I guess. I don't know how it works, but they don't have X crime equals Z time. But I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? So why is it? That's the issue. Why do judges have just like, I'm having a bad day today and I don't like your face, so today I'm giving you 10 years in prison or whatever. But I think I'm going way off topic, but I think that's just what the guy in the Social Dilemma, the documentary, was saying, is like, we're seeing this byproduct of loud voices on left and right, and it's dividing people. And I don't know.
Yeah, you're not going to see the whole story on social media.
No, you never do.
They pick and choose what you see on social media, and that's also what the documentary mentions. Is that is what they're doing? They're doing that on purpose. They're not giving you the full picture, because then there's no reason for you to come back, right? So they're just trying to pump things out to get you to refresh your page, and they're going to throw more stuff at you, like, oh, this caught your attention, so you might like this. This caught your attention, so you might like this.
That's another thing. They design these things to be as addictive as possible.
Yeah, and this is stuff I witnessed firsthand. Like simple things as with the crazy moments that you think there's a product or something that you looked at, and all of a sudden it pops up as an advertisement on your social media page. And that's just them. I mean, they even said that social media apps, they manipulate our brain psychology to keep us checking our devices and refreshing our feeds. So that stuff that keeps popping up, we keep refreshing, we keep seeing, and then they're just hoping that we pull the trigger, because guess what? They say in the documentary, if we're not purchasing anything, then if we're not getting any product out of it, then we're the product. And that's how they're using us, because we're money to them.
It's crazy, man.
And they do that by exploiting our biases, like as you mentioned, left and right on social media, the fears that we have, even like the younger generation. You got that's what's really eye-opening. And I know people see it, and you'll see it even more after the documentary, but the big one's TikTok, and you got this younger generation either sticking with the trends or all the filters and all the apps. This young generation, they see this perfect image of themselves, and then they take the filter away and they hate what they see, and then boom, now we have health and mental issues starting that young and sticking with them all throughout their life because of social media. A lot more in
girls too.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
It went up.
Absolutely, and it even shows it in that like the side skit / thing they have in the American Family. They got this little girl. Yeah, she just
tore me up. It made me tear up. So this little girl they had in the skit, she was like posted a picture of herself.
Yeah.
And then it had random comments, like some girl was like, she's cute, but her ears are too big, or like she's Dumbo.
Mm-hmm.
So she deleted the picture, tried to take one where her ears weren't showing, and then she's like later on looking in the mirror, just like trying to hide her ears. And I was like, you poor thing. Like I just imagined that being my daughter. And I was like, it really broke my heart watching it, because it's like, that's another thing, is like young people are so much more vulnerable to criticism when they're not able to handle it or brush it off as well. Because, typically you're so much more insecure when you're younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, middle school, elementary, and high school. Of course.
And here's the thing. People in general, especially younger generation, they want their best version of themselves to be on social media. So they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that happens. And then once that happens, they want to feel that appreciation. They want to feel that acceptance. So that's when the likes come in and the shares and whatnot. If they don't see that, just like you saw in the documentary, they'll delete it and try again. Or that depression will kick in from not being accepted. Yeah, man.
You're immediately like opening yourself up to this vulnerability and to be compared immediately with someone else. And you're never going to be, there's always someone going to be prettier or something than you. And you're at that age where it's like, damn, that's going to really affect you,
Absolutely.
It'd be tough.
Absolutely.
It's already hard enough being in high school. There's the cliques and stuff, the popular kids that you're more than likely not. So I don't know.
Absolutely. And there's this author, S. Brooks. He does an article. It's called "Does Personal Social Media Usage Affect Efficiency and Well-Being?" He says social media is found, or the social media usage is associated with lower happiness. Personal happiness is sought by users when searching through various platforms. That happiness is something that is desired by most. Instead, what the users thought they might find, they end up feeling some sadness created from what is seen. And that isn't a direct cause from the user either. That is a prime example of what social media can create. So it's crazy, man. It's real. And I don't know. I just got stuck in a documentary, man. And there's more things that that we have down here.
I mean, there was like one guy who was talking about it. He was like, you end up thinking you're going to feel, who was it? It was someone who ended up creating some of the apps. I don't remember. But he was talking about you end up thinking you're going to feel better once you post something out there of yourself or something, but you never do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that in people. I see that in like photographers and other people that have, I think it's ridiculous, but they have verbally talked to me. There's been a couple about how their likes haven't got as high as they used to be and how one of their friends has surpassed them. And these are people in their mid and upper 20s. And that one of their friends that started way later than them that they helped out to learn this thing is they have like 2,000 or 3,000 more followers or way more, because of whatever. Because who knows? Because they're prettier, because they're more marketable, they have branded themselves better or something. So that person was just down comparing themselves to some stupid number that doesn't even matter. Instagram numbers will not matter. If you just step out of that bubble, it does not matter how many likes you get. Stop looking at your likes. That will not help you. Doesn't matter. Trust me. I went through that phase. I looked at my likes when I started getting into photography. All of a sudden, did I get more likes now? Oh, I'm using hashtags,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to feel like I'm, like whatever I'm putting out there is approved and it's good and like other people that I admire, they like it too. No. I hate this game.
Dude, that's why it's so sad is that's what it's come to in today's era, that for us to feel accepted and to feel like this is good, what we put out is awesome, is that stupid like button. And it's everywhere. It's every platform.
I don't look at anything. I don't.
It's that used to be something I used to closely monitor, especially when I was a new kid moving to Texas from Wisconsin. And I was already struggling trying to fit in being the new kid. So I wanted to, I went to social media, tried to find, and, I didn't have any friends. So, of course, there was no one really liked my stuff. But I took that personally, like, oh, no one likes me. Why am I here?
Yeah.
And then, it just...
I still do that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you can't help it because it's what we live in, and it's just how it is, and it sucks, and it's unfortunate.
I can't look at it, man. I can't look at the likes for our teasers or I can't look at how many people we have listening. If it drops or whatever, I can't because I know how easily that can affect me. Like, oh man, we must not be doing something right now, or these negative thoughts that creep in. That's what I'm saying. Like I said way before, we got to put out these podcasts and this content pretending like we have a massive audience. Because that's the best way to do it, I think. Just do it like the audience isn't even there, but it's about to be. Like they're, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It just takes time, though. I understand people got to go through their phases and stuff, and they're going to care, and it just doesn't help me at all. I don't know. I think I cut you off. You're going to say something else.
No. You're crushing it, absolutely. But another point, huge point. I think the documentary that kind of gets overshadowed is they highlight the boy.
Yeah.
That is like constantly on his phone, and
that's what I was about to talk about.
I think his sister's trying to talk to him, but he's like so blocked out and locked into the social media that he's disconnected, and that's crazy because it's not crazy, but people think when they use social media, and the more social media that they use, they become more connected, but that's not the case. That's not the case.
Nope.
Troy Brownfield, I got an article from Troy Brownfield. He did an article called Tech Disconnect. He said social media is the false sense of connection. Straight up, right there. And
Amen.
I 100% believe that, you know. But he also says nowhere in the definition of connection does it state that a relationship has to be in person. So with that, everyone's thinking, okay, how many followers can I get? You know, who am I following? Oh, this means I'm connected to 1,000 people. No. That's not the case, because what happens is you're so locked into your social media that you're completely blocking out the rest of the world, and everything's moving around you, and you're missing out completely. So you're actually more disconnected than what you thought you'd be with social media or without social media.
It's true. It's true. I've seen a lot of people, for instance, so connected to social issues, and I'm not saying there's anything bad with being aware and you know, becoming, for instance, like the Black Lives Matter movement, all this stuff going on more recently has been huge, right? Mm-hmm. And it's made a lot of people become more aware of issues that people don't, like, I don't have to deal with. I haven't experienced that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't imagine what it's like to grow up in Flint, Michigan. Or, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in the sticks in Tennessee, so it's just these things. That's a good outcome of it. But the bad outcome... And they use this young boy as an example. He becomes disconnected from his reality. Mm-hmm. And he gets so ingrained into this movement, which is portrayed as a negative movement. It doesn't really hint at what it is.
Doesn't say what movement.
But he is getting into this bubble. And I've seen this happen from my perspective, too. He's getting into this bubble because this video that he's watching is suggesting another video that is of the same thing, you know, the same world. That same bubble, and it's a rabbit hole. YouTube is insane for this, right?
Yeah.
So he's getting into this whole thing, like basically some sort of movement conspiracy theory, and he is like getting fired up about it. And then he eventually goes to some protest and like gets arrested and like all this crazy stuff. You know, he's an innocent kid, but he's like, wait, why am I here? Kind of an extreme example, you know, maybe exaggerate a little bit, but I do have an example of that I've seen on YouTube. And one example I've seen, which I thought was heartbreaking and super weird, was basically there's this movement on YouTube of men, young men, who say they've taken the red pill. It's the red pill movement or whatever that means. Basically, they've become enlightened to the truth. And it's kind of a woman-hating movement, sort of. It's basically just all these videos lead you to another one. One came up in my recommended. I watched it. It was this young guy ranting about these type of women these days and, you know, how they're this and that. And sure, there's some truth to that. You know, there's some truth to, like, the entitlement of young women in general. And there's some entitlement to young men now in this social media era. It's different, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't inherently mean that every man, young man, is bad. Just what we see. We always hear the loudest people. They're always the smallest little amount of people in that group, but they're the loudest, and that's what, you know, represents that whole. Yep. But I saw that video, and then immediately I'm getting in my recommendations all of these crazy videos of young men being like, you know what, women these days, you know, they just, you need to stay away from them. And they try and make these valid points. And the thing that was worrying was I was thinking in the comments was there's going to be someone in there and like kind of being logical and being like, this is crazy to generalize all these young women to be thoughts and like TikTok whores and this and that, whatever they were saying, and all the comments were in the bubble. They were all approving each other. People are, another thing this documentary points out is the vulnerability of the mind. We don't realize how vulnerable our mind is. Mm-hmm. And these are examples. When we see these people locked into these bubbles, and you think, how are they so delusional? They're so stupid. And then you voice how stupid they are. And then they say, you're so stupid. You haven't taken the red pill. Everyone's in their bubble. It's because they live in these videos with these comments that always approve it. You know what I'm saying? And then they think, oh, man, if there's 100 comments of these guys approving, then they must be onto something. Or whatever. You could use any example you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Left, right, whatever. You could use any. There's always a bubble for whatever thing you're into. The KKK, that's a bubble.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Do you think they're all just idiots, or do you think every person in the world is way more vulnerable to influence than you think you are? You are. And if you don't think you are, you have to really stop and question what you believe. And what have you been fed through your who you follow on Instagram? That's a bubble. If you follow all those people that follow those people that are connected, that's a bubble. Yep. Opinions that you think is the majority might not be the majority. And that's the problem with social media. And then you see one that's the minority opinion. They like Trump. What? Are they a idiot? Yeah. How can this be? I've been living in this world where everyone hates Trump. How do these people exist? And then on the other side of the fence, they're looking at you like, you're what? Who was this moron libtard? You know what I'm saying? That's how these things happen. And then they argue.
No, that's the thing. Like, we as human beings are just so vulnerable to fall for the traps that social media, lays out for us to get into these bubbles. And you're hitting politics, you're hitting spot on with the politics, you're hitting it with any kind of social issues and those minority groups like the KKK, the sports world. Hello, there's a bubble for that, like with different, for
sure.
LeBron James should have been MVP, and now there's this whole bubble arguing of why he should, and it's just there's constant bubbles, and you got your team bubbles and all that kind of stuff. But I'll wrap up the disconnect portion of it. But dude, I have articles for day. This is Jennifer Klein. She does an article called "Losing Face." And she says, even with social media making it so simple to connect virtually, users are feeling more socially isolated and beginning to become more physically and mentally disconnected from the world. And the doc highlights it, especially with that dude. And then he ends up on I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, he's so unaware with the outside world, and it's just like a zombie because he's so locked into his bubble. But here's another thing. I don't know if it's something that you've gone through. But I know me personally, definitely back in the day, social media would create this enviness. Is enviness a word?
Yeah, just envy.
The feeling for being, envy for the things that you see. Everyone, because like I said earlier, people are always trying to put their best foot forward, their best face, and their favorite trip or their best trips and all that kind of stuff. They're trying to put it out there, and you're sitting on the other side of the screen like, damn, I really want that. What do I got to do? And it brings you down a little bit, right? Because you're not doing that. You don't have that thing or whatever. Or you're not seeing that place. And I think that's just another thing that, people really don't think about, but they fall into that trap of, you're not focused on yourself. We talk about this all the time. You're playing your own game, and social media takes you out of that game, and now you're playing someone else's game, and you're not going to succeed that way. It's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. And I see probably the worst side of that, because once you get into the photo and video realm, you start to get, these suggested videos a lot of these travel influencers, and they all make these cool looking videos with that super trending sounding music, and all the water is so blue, and they're doing the gainer off some cliff. It's all the damn same. Yep. And it's so stupid. And I see people that I know that want to be, this is my idol. This person who has 3 million followers, they travel everywhere and they do these cool videos. I'm not saying their videos aren't cool, but I understand the effect. I've seen the effect it's having on this person that wants to be like that. Envy, like you said. And it's like, bruh, it's so gross. They travel there. It seems like they just travel there just to make this video, to make themselves, their brand, look cool. And it's so gross. Dude.
Yep.
I hate it. There's so many people like that.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys listening probably think, we're just ranting or whatever, but I
am ranting.
Yeah, we are ranting. That's the truth. But we can't be the only ones that think like this. So if you're listening, I want to hear your thoughts too, man. Or woman,
Just really think about your beliefs. I mean, really take a step out of your little bubbles. People think
stay in the Brew Your Mind bubble. By the way,
there is
this bubble's
bias.
Okay.
The Brew Your Mind bubble's fine. I know we got some crazy opinions sometimes, but people think as time progresses, and you look back at people in the 20s or the 30s, and you think, man, those people probably, there's the assumption that people weren't as educated as we are today because of how aware we are of, things. You're like, how can you think the earth was flat back in the day? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or like, all these things that we're like, oh man, simple times, simple people. No, people do not progress. Babies are born, they start over. Technology, medicine, those things progress, whatever, but people do not progress. So people often think, man, if I lived back in Germany in 30s and 40s, there's no way I'd be a Nazi. But you don't know how vulnerable your mind is. You don't know the propaganda. You got to question, what propaganda are we seeing now? Propaganda doesn't have to be racism. It can be anything. It can be, what is the status quo? Why is this the status quo? Why does everyone around me hate the president? Mm-hmm. Is it okay that I approve of him sometimes? Is that okay? Because when you say the status quo is to, man, Trump sucks, but then you say, well, he's doing some good, and then people say, oh, you must be kind of a bigot. And then you got to question, well, why do they think that way? They think that way because the status quo, the bubble that they're living in. So and then, people will say, how are people racist? People are tribal. We are not that, our brains are vulnerable. There's lots of issues. And you can't say that you don't have any hateful or judgmental thoughts. We're human, and it's okay to be flawed. It's okay if you have a racist thought sometimes. I'm not saying encourage that, but I'm saying you're flawed. You're a flawed human. It's okay if you have hateful thoughts. It's okay if you're judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not encouraging these racism or something. I'm using it as an example. We're vulnerable. We're vulnerable of where we grew up.
Yep.
You look at people that are from some, like, in inner cities, all those kids act the same, they dress the same, they talk the same. Not because of their skin color. You look at some people where I grew up, white boys, they all dress the same, they're all rednecks because it's a tribal thing. It doesn't equal this or that. It doesn't mean that they're racist or dumb or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, you have to question, why am I so upset? What am I weighed down about? All this politics. So I told that guy on Twitter, I'm not going to vote because it weighs me down. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's real. I mean, we saw when Hillary Clinton was all of a sudden the nominee for the Democratic Party, they branded her as an angel, the first woman president. But before that, no one liked her. She had a lot of issues. That's an example. People will brand things, rebrand things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's real, is what I'm saying. They can rebrand Joe Biden as the God and Savior from this current administration. Or whatever. They're going to. This is the way. We need change. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I question everything. I question everything.
That's good,
question
though.
Everything.
It's good to question and not just be a sheep, That social media does that for us, We just fall in line. Yeah, okay. Oh, this person has 3,000 likes. That means it's pretty likable. Let me like that, And it's just just the thing. Or whatever's tweeted and it has 100,000 likes. I should probably like this too because, it feels like it's the accepting thing, But hey.
I'm 3 glasses into some wine. This is my 3rd glass. And I'm feeling
my guy.
I'm feeling it. We're celebrating.
Let's turn the lights down and set the mood for a second.
I hope I didn't offend anyone. I'm trying to make it.
Listen, we're not here
paint a
to
picture.
offend people, guys.
I'm trying to get you to think, and I'm not saying if you
brew your mind, people. Think.
even when people say "wake up, sheeple," like insinuating that your opinion is you're a sheep. That also bugs me when you're going along with the main status quo.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No. It's okay, but people use that
Yeah.
to be like, oh, you're going along with the mainstream. Wake up, sheeple. It's like, well, I mean,
drink an IPA and be hipster.
but like when people say "wake up, sheep," that's also a phrase that people say in the bubble, and they regurgitate these things. There's an
bubble.
echo chamber. Echo
dude.
chamber. That's all it is.
And listen, we say all this stuff, and even the documentary highlights it. This change to this internet industry is not going to happen on their end. It's not going to happen within these businesses. It's only going to happen by the users. And I can tell you right now, nothing's going to change.
Nope.
That documentary is going to be forgotten about in a couple months. No one's going to even think about it. They're going to go back to their bubbles or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what's the most frustrating part is we know what's going on. We realize it. We see it with our eyes. And the documentary comes out and our eyes open up a little bit more. But then it's time to shut them again as a couple months go by. So I just want people to be aware of what's happening.
There was another point, I think, that I'm sorry. I always feel like I'm cutting you off.
Never. You never are.
There was another point that a guy, I think they didn't really show his rebuttal that much, but he was kind of arguing with the main guy in the documentary. He was kind of like, there's always been these things. There's always been newspapers. There's always been news channels. There's always been this thing where you're receiving the message. You know what I'm saying? And he's right.
Kind of biased message.
There's always been a propaganda of some sort.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not going to go away. But you just have to, I think what the main point is when you find yourself so, oh, my accent's getting thicker. I can hear it.
That's the wine.
I just heard it. When you find yourself, I was like, oh, it came out.
Oh boy, you get a little bit quitty.
It's just when you find yourself really bogged down with things that aren't in your reality, you have to question, why is this bogging me down? I have not experienced this in my life. And I think there's a balance there. I think that's when you have to disconnect and really say, and I've thought this for a long time, you have to really say to people who are so angry, and I want to say, have you really experienced this much negativity with people in your life, in real life? Not on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But in real life, has your experience been, good or bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know the truth. You just live in your reality. Just take a step out of that bubble. Perspective, man. Perspective is everything. And again, like this is what I do every 2 weeks when we do this. I preach to myself because I get in my own little bubble in my head of negativity, my perception. Perspective is skewed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you really take a step out and you think about where you're at, what you got in life, how everything is. I mean, life is good for most of us here, especially in America. Mm-hmm. Life is really good. So I don't know. What's the answer, man? What is the answer?
There is no answer, but like me personally, and this is probably just silly, but like something that helped me out a little bit is putting time limits on my phone for the apps. And of course it gives you the option, you can bypass or whatever, but being strict with it has really helped, especially for Instagram. I used to go there. There's like Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, those kind of pages that I had to be current. I had to know the greatest, what happened today, what highlight, what replay that I could tell people about and be the first person to tell them about. So it makes it, make me feel important. And then, I add a timer, something like 10 minutes a day, and then that's it, and that helped out a little bit. So, I mean, if anyone's struggling and you know that you're under this bubble, just as Jesse said, step out, disconnect, reevaluate, and then just move on, keep on trucking, get on the train with us, because we got the coal shoveling back there. We could use more people. It's a tough job for just two people. Have you guys seen Titanic? The people down the bottom of the boat shoveling like crazy.
Every time that scene gets me, I'm like, dang.
And you
That
got
looks
people just
brutal.
living their best life at the top. Even the poor people, the poor class, they're living their best life. They're having a grand time on that boat. But you got those people, those workers down there in the tank tops dripping. They're bulky, they're sweaty, they're hot. They look good out swipe right. And they're just shoveling away. Shoveling away, you know? And then that's Jesse and I. We're shoveling away. Join us. Shovel with us. I don't know what I'm saying now. Delirium's 8.5% too, so I'm just pounding away. We're crushing.
Sometimes when I see like a scene like that of those upper class people having that fine dining and dinner, I see those boys down there in the dim dark with the coal burning in their face. I want to be down there shoveling because I like to suffer a little bit. I really do. I really
It's like
do.
basic training. We enjoyed that.
Like when we were down there in Arizona, we're doing this hard. We're out in the sun. It's like 100 degrees. We're doing land nav. I loved it. I was drenched with like sweat, and I was like so happy.
Yep.
I was so happy. I mean, that's all I wanted. You know what I mean?
My guy.
But there's something weird about that. I think I tap into the David Goggins a little bit. Now he is
David
what I
Goggins.
want to be. His whenever he talks about it, that punishment he goes through and why he needs it. I get it. I don't get there though. I want to get there. Like I didn't even get to work out today, man. It's so busy. I was like at work and then I went and got a haircut and I came here, set up, and we're going. And now I'm drinking, so I'm not working out now. But
This is
you know what time it is, baby? It's part 3 of
It's
the
silver.
Silver Bullet.
bullet.
You actually did know what time it was before you even knew.
I could tell by your different inflections.
All right. This one's a great example for me because this is true. Number 3. So for anyone new to this, we do a segment for now. Every time we do this, we do a silver bullet, which is basically one of 20 bullets. There's 20 bullets of some good, motivational type of thing. And we talk about it a little bit just to get you sharpened up a little bit. Just to get you fired up. I'm saying. Just to be the best that you can. That's what we want to do. I think me and Justin, we get on here first and foremost to sharpen each other.
That's right.
To check in. And this is very healthy for us. This has been a great thing for me. I feel so good about my life. Okay. All right. Number 3 on this one. And I recommend you listen to the last 2 episodes, episode 36, 37.
Listen to the whole episode. We're not going to tell you where the silver bullet's at. You got to find it. It's like a needle in a haystack.
It's great, man. All right. Number 3, it says, the best way to stay in shape is to never get out of shape. Whoa.
Facts.
Then the paragraph here says, get accustomed to an active and healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It will make you more energetic, create a positive mindset, and give you utmost confidence. It also provides a proper military image. We are the nation's warriors. Let's look like it and have the energy to do what the nation asks of us. Kind of corny, not going to lie.
But aim high, fly, fight, and win.
Exactly. I'm not the most military guy, but that's very true. I let myself get a little bit out of shape since I've been here in Alaska. And that's no one's fault but mine. It's hard, though. It gets cold, working 12-hour shifts, stuck at the desk.
Yep.
Then it's cold and cold and cold.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, here's summer. Ah, damn, I gained 10 pounds. Why is jogging so much harder? Anyway. But I think you can apply this to a lot of things. Such as a podcast. Being creative. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You got to... people think, oh, I'm not creative. I can't make music. I can't do whatever. I can't play basketball. Not good enough. I can't draw. Can't take pictures. But it's a muscle. They're all muscles. Creativity is a muscle. Some people will be better than you from, they will naturally have more talent. Physically,
We
they
don't
might
care
be
about those,
taller.
do we?
No.
We care about ourselves.
But you got to play with the hand of cards you've been dealt. All right.
You got to know when to fold them. Know when to hold them. Know when to walk away.
Know when,
to run. I had it backwards too, by the way. I kept going though.
I didn't notice. But
I know it.
Rest in peace, Kenny Rogers. But I think you can apply this to anything. What do you think, Justin? I mean,
I concur, Julia Charlie.
stay thought provoking. Stay brewing your mind.
I like how you said creativity is a muscle.
I mean, it really is, though. I mean that wholeheartedly.
And you have to work it out. You have to. Otherwise, what happens to that muscle?
You lose it, man. You either use it or you lose it. It's true. People
Turns into blubber, whale fat.
People think that, I don't know. Yeah, it's very true, I think. Even with me, I will say, I feel like musically, I have a lot of natural talent. But when I get lazy with that natural talent and I don't exercise that muscle, I get out of shape, I get rusty, and then I'm like, I don't know how to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it happens. And it's the same thing, of course, with physically staying in shape. I don't really, whatever. You know how that goes. But I don't know. I get a little upset sometimes because you see all these people in the military that have these jobs that are Monday through Friday, and they have squadron PT together, and they do all these great things, and they're all staying in shape together, keeping each other in check. You know, I haven't had a group PT since me and you were at Scott together.
Those were the days.
At the 15th.
Those were the days.
I haven't done a group PT.
And how motivating was that, though?
I didn't do it at TACC.
How much did that help?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. I love it. In my head, before you go, you're like, "Oh, this is stupid," but I love it, and I'm seriously envious of that when people do.
There's something about you going through something, and everyone else is going through the same thing
At the same time. Yes.
Yeah.
That just gets you. It pushes. It makes you push yourself harder.
Yeah.
I miss that, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. Exercise
right, Jesse.
those muscles.
What else you got? Let's shut it down.
We're not done yet, man.
Oh.
We're not done yet. We got to keep it going. This is the 1 year. So 1 year means we go on 2 hours.
This is news to me.
Oh, I don't know what time we're at here, how much we're running over, but thank you for listening this far. Again, please, if you love us and support us, please just hit us up for those patches. That would really mean a lot. We're going to work on some more merchandise stuff. I got a suggestion today from Kyle. He really likes stickers. Stickers would be pretty cheap to get produced.
We can definitely do
that. Could be fun.
Those juicy pictures, yeah.
But anyway, I want to say, Justin, this game that's went viral apparently among the gaming community, Among Us. So got into that in the most unexpected way. So I'm here with Katie, right? My lovely woman, and her sisters come over the other night. They bring like coffee, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. So they're out here chilling, and they're like, Callie, one of her sisters, she's like, oh my God, have you guys played this game? And I was like, oh, this is probably some stupid phone game. She's like, it's called Among Us. I was like, oh, I've heard about this. I was like, no way, I thought it was super cool, and so we started playing it. Man, hey, if anyone wants to play this game, I think you can play it on your phones. What else? PC?
You can play it on PC and phone. But phone, it's easy. Because what you can do also with the phone is you download the Discord app, and then you get the players into the Discord. So instead of just typing each round, you actually have voice, and it makes it a lot more fun.
Is that what you've done with the boys on there?
Yeah, done that, and then because that's what they do on PC. They'll get into Discord. So when you're not playing with randoms and you're playing with a bunch of people it's super fun. And what's crazy is this game came out in 2018, and all of a sudden a couple Twitch streamers.
That's how it goes.
Got it going, and all of a sudden every Twitch streamer plays Among Us.
I've seen it all over. It's all over Reddit, memes all over the place. I didn't even know what the memes were. I was seeing on Reddit first. I was like, what is this game? And actually, we should put it out on our Instagram soon. We should do a Brew Your Mind listeners join us.
That'd be fun.
Play Among Us. Now, the real challenge is who has listened this far into the podcast to actually hear this part. If you have message us. Please.
If you have,
just message
just comment
me.
on the teaser. Comment on that. Just say, hey, listened. Just say one word or hashtag Among Us. So we know that you're still with us. That'd be awesome. Do it. Do it. Do it.
We should do we should totally do a Brew Your Mind like schedule of the night. Like put it out on Instagram like a couple days in a row. Be like, we're gonna do this Among Us, and just join if you want. And that'd be fun, right? A little interaction with people who listen.
Yep.
Dude, it's so fun. That was like being so sneaky playing that game. So
it's great.
The game is like there's like if there's so many people, there's two, what's the word?
Imposters.
Imposters. And then you go, no one knows who the imposters are, right? So everyone's just like,
Rest of them are
we're all
crewmates.
crewmates. So you go around, and if you're an imposter, you can kill someone with a touch of a button. And then when you kill that person, they can't chat anymore. They can't do anything. Really. I mean, they can observe and move around as a ghost. But what's fun is you can totally blend in with people for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And then people are like, no, it's not Brown, because Brown is, he's been with me for 3 rounds.
Yep.
And I did that to Katie. She'd be like, come on, Jesse, let's go over here. I'll be following around doing tasks, be pretending I'd be doing these things, right? And she'd be like, no way, it's him. He's been with me this whole time. Because I wouldn't kill anyone. I would not kill anyone until, at the very end, I'd wait till she's doing a task and she can't see me. And I'd sneak off and go kill a guy and then come back and be like, oh yeah, we're still here.
We're
so fun. But we should play that. We should do a Brew Your Mind. Anyway, as you can tell, the alcohol's hitting me now. Can you tell?
No one listens to at this point, so you can really say whatever.
Have you checked to see if people make it this far?
Oh, yeah. The loyal listeners, they're in deep.
Oh, you can really check?
Great is,
you can check how far people go?
Yeah, you can break it down by Spotify, Apple
Podcast
and something. Yeah,
to see what minute they go to?
Yeah, you can see what is the average cutoff that people stop listening, or how far do males make it? How far do females make it? Yeah.
Oh, I'm not upset if people don't make it this far. I don't, we're talking about likes and stuff. It's okay. It's okay. I'm having a good time. This is cathartic.
And what's great is we release this once every 2 weeks, so people got plenty of time to listen to one episode, This is 5. You work Monday through Friday. I bet you finish an episode on your way to work, on the way back.
Oh, you know what? That's so sweet. I was messaging a friend of mine up here, Caleb, and he's I didn't even know he listened to this. And he lives in Juneau, which is southeast Alaska.
Capital Alaska.
You can only really fly there. So he used to live here, but he lives there now because of a job. COVID, he took what job he could. He's a pilot. So he lives down there, and he came back into town. And I was like, dude, I miss you, man. I want to see you. He was like, yeah, I miss you too, man. I got to get caught up on Brew Your Mind. And I was like, what? I didn't even know you listened to it, man. That's so sweet. Sweetest guy, man. Sweetest guy. Sweetest people.
So cool.
That's something else, man. You be, in the military, and you make all these good friends. You stay in a place for 4 years, and make these great people.
I will say, though, the toughest part is saying goodbye to those friends, and then it just naturally happens, and you get disconnected from them. And
I know
it's nowhere near what it was, except if your name is Justin and Jesse.
Yeah, it's true. Me and you have definitely kept in really good touch, especially now because of this. But yeah, I mean that's the thing, man. Distance it just naturally slows it down because you don't really have anything to talk about besides what's new in your life, and then the old times and
what's new in your life.
You know what I mean? You're not there.
Yep.
Anyway.
I agree. What else you got, man?
That's all I think.
That's all you got?
Let me think. Anything else new? What's today? The 22nd? 21st?
Yeah, buddy.
22nd? So, yeah, I think I'll be able to do one more podcast before we move.
I'm excited.
Might be without a green screen. I don't know. But
that's fine.
Yeah, look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. So, should be moving sometime in October. I'm not going to say when, stalkers.
Nope.
But be going down there, Savannah. Going to get settled in, baby. Might buy a house. Might buy a house because I'm rich.
Hell yeah, you balling.
Should I buy a house? How was your experience buying a house without actually seeing it physically?
Fantastic. It went great.
So, yeah, I really want to do that because I don't want to get locked into a lease for 6 months to a year and then be like, I hate this. But I also don't want to buy a house in a neighborhood that I don't love. So I was messaging a dude down there. I was like, dude, what's a good place to live? What's a good place to live, brother? Anyway, hey, listen.
Eric Huber for hooking me up. All right.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, we got patches, messages. We're going to do Among Us game night, one night. Maybe. I hope so. But really, dude, I thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, you're a G, for real. And remember everything we said. Look, like I said, I'm not preaching to you. I'm preaching to myself. Me and Justin are here to sharpen each other first, and hopefully you get something out of it. That's what we want to do. Brew your mind, you know? We just want to get you thinking a little bit. But get myself thinking first, because, man, I'm all the pieces. I'm a mess. My life is a wreck. It really is, dude. As soon as I check off here, I look at how, I'll do the editing for this video and stuff, and I'll listen back a little bit. I'm like, man, I see so sure of myself and so put together. Another thing, social media. You only see the best. And then throughout the week, I'm struggling, man. Every week. I'm like, when's it going to get good? Yeah, I got it. Hey, before we sign off, let me pour one more. Right here, buddy. Justin.
For the listeners.
And we'll do one more. This is for the listeners. Pouring it. Katie's going to kill me. I drank this whole bottle. I just about drank this whole bottle.
Love it. But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation that we had. We found it really fascinating, and it was yeah, I mean, it just came out, so we felt like it was important to talk about. So,
cheers me, Justin. Are you cheersing me?
Sorry, here.
I'm cheersing it to the lens. Can you reach the lens?
Cheers, brother. Yep, I got him. But yeah, hey, anything that you guys got about the subject, reach out to us. We want to talk about it. Some conversations. We need more conversations. So let's keep it flowing. Patches, Jesse already talked about it. Make sure you reach out to us. They look awesome, and make sure you grab one. They're sweet.
Thanks.
But thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you.
This past year.
Yes.
Cheers to 1 year down, and cheers to another year that we're gonna crush. I'm excited. I'm stoked. Keep fueling the flame. But hey, hope everyone out there. It's a great couple weeks. Don't forget to stay safe, and also after 1 year of not forgetting to brew your mind, don't forget to brew your mind.
Oh, baby, don't forget it.
Nice one, brother.
All right, now I'll cut off everything.